Once upon a time, in the cupboard under the stairs of number 4, Privet Drive, lived a small boy named Harry Potter. Little did Harry know that he was no ordinary boy. He had a messy head of hair, round glasses, and a peculiar lightning-shaped scar on his forehead. For as long as he could remember, his aunt and uncle, the Dursleys, made Harry feel as unwanted as a forgotten sock. Life was plain and simple for Harry until one peculiar morning when something magical happened. An owl swooped down and dropped a letter at his feet with a perfectly calligraphed address, Mr. H. Potter, the cupboard under the stairs. The Dursleys tried everything they could to stop Harry from reading that letter. They tore it, burned it, and shredded each one, but the letters mysteriously multiplied like mischievous imps. All day, letters darted from chimneys, popped from toasters, and flooded through every nook and cranny. The Dursleys, as stern as ever, finally took Harry to a remote island thinking they had escaped the mail madness, but the unexpected was just around the corner. On the darkest of nights, with thunder clapping and lightning brightening the sky, a burly giant of a man crashed through the door. It was Rubeus Hagrid, keeper of keys and grounds at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. With a twinkle in his eyes and a voice as deep as thunder, Hagrid announced, "Harry, you're a wizard." Harry's heart soared like a bird from a cage. A wizard? Me, he wondered aloud. Hagrid explained of his magical heritage, taking Harry's hand and whisking him away to a world he'd never known. Off they went to the bustling streets of Diagon Alley. There, under the moonlit sky, Harry's eyes widened as he gazed at shops filled with cauldrons, spellbooks, and magical creatures. For the first time, Harry felt as though he belonged. He was no longer just the boy who lived beneath the stairs, but was now stepping into a world of magic where he was destined for great things. And this was only the beginning of Harry's incredible adventure, leading him to friendships and challenges that would shape him into the wizard he was always meant to be. The letters and his unlikely friend Hagrid had opened the door to a world where magic was not just a possibility, but a way of life. Harry had finally found his place, and it was nothing short of amazing. Once upon a time, in a world filled with magic and wonder, there was a young boy named Harry. Harry was no ordinary boy. He was a wizard. On a fine September morning, Harry found himself standing on a bustling platform, surrounded by families waving goodbye to children, all eager to board the bright red Hogwarts Express. It was his first time, and his heart thumped with excitement and a hint of nervousness. Harry clutched his ticket tightly. It read Platform 9¾ a place that seemed impossible to find. But with a bit of courage and a swift push through the seemingly solid barrier, he emerged on the other side, right next to the magnificent train that would whisk him away to the magical world of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Once on the train, with his trunk and snowy owl Hedwig safely stowed, Harry began his search for a seat. His eyes caught those of a tall, lanky red-haired boy who looked just as nervous as he was. "Mind if I join you?" Harry asked with a shy smile. "Not at all," the boy replied. "I'm Ron Weasley." The two quickly became friends, sharing snacks and stories of magic and muggles they knew. Their conversation was so lively that they almost didn't notice when the door slid open, revealing a girl with bushy brown hair and an air of determination. "Hello," she said briskly. "I'm Hermione Granger. Have you seen a toad?" A boy named Neville's lost one. Although they hadn't seen the toad, Hermione decided to join them, and soon the compartment was filled with laughter and chatter. The train journey was over before they knew it, and soon Harry, Ron, and Hermione stood in front of the grand castle of Hogwarts. In the grand hall, candles floated in the air, and a magical hat sat waiting. It was the Sorting Hat, ready to decide the fate of each new student. When it was Harry's turn, he sat nervously on the stool, the hat covering his eyes. The hat whispered thoughtfully. You have plenty of courage, I see. Better be Gryffindor. The room erupted in cheers, and Harry knew he was where he belonged. Alongside Ron and Hermione, each sorted into Gryffindor too, Harry's heart swelled with happiness. His new adventure had just begun, and with friends by his side, it promised to be the greatest adventure ever. In the magical world of Hogwarts, young Harry Potter discovered that he had a very special gift. It wasn't just his lightning-shaped scar or his knack for causing trouble at the right moment. It was his natural talent for Quidditch. Never before in the wizarding world had a first year even tried out for the team, let alone excelled. But Harry was no ordinary student. One sunny afternoon, while gazing out of the Gryffindor common room window, Harry watched in awe as older students whizzed around on broomsticks. Tossing a red quaffle through golden hoops far up in the sky, that was when Oliver Wood, the Gryffindor Quidditch captain, noticed Harry's keen interest and saw a wonderful opportunity. Harry, said Wood with a twinkle in his eye, I've heard about your little adventure on a broomstick the other day. How about you give Quidditch a try? We need a new seeker, and you might just be the one. Feeling a flush of excitement, Harry eagerly nodded. The next day, he set foot on the Quidditch pitch for the first time, Nimbus 2000 broomstick in hand, heart pounding like 1,000 drumming house elves. The task of a seeker was to catch the tiny, winged golden snitch, and as Harry soared through the air, he felt as if he was born to fly. With wind rushing through his hair and his friends cheering from below, he spotted the gleaming snitch near the Hufflepuff stands, fluttering like a mischievous fairy. Preparing for what could be the most thrilling moment of his young life, Harry zoomed forward, dodging bludgers sent by towering beaters and swooping low to avoid harsh tackles. Seamlessly, he stretched out his hand and, with a gasp of the spectators, clasped the little snitch tightly. Instantly, a wave of applause erupted from the stands. The Gryffindor team descended upon Harry, lifting him high in celebration. He had caught the snitch and won his team the match. Not only did Gryffindor celebrate a glorious victory, but Harry had also become the youngest seeker in a century. From that day on, Harry was not just the boy who lived, but the boy who flies as well. Every student at Hogwarts wanted to hear Harry's exhilarating stories of his daring dives as the Gryffindor Seeker. And so, the legend of Harry Potter grew even bigger, along with his love for the magical sport of Quidditch. Once upon a time at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, a thrilling adventure awaited three young friends named Harry Potter, Ron Weasley, and Hermione Granger. It all began when the trio discovered a mysterious three-headed dog named Fluffy, guarding something hidden beneath a trapdoor on the forbidden third-floor corridor. Curiosity piqued, the three friends decided to unravel the mystery. Hermione, the brightest witch of her age, delved into the library, hunting for any information about the trapdoor and Fluffy's significance. Ron's eyes twinkled with daring mischief, while Harry's lightning bolt scar tingled with anticipation. One night, cloaked beneath Harry's invisibility cloak, they sneaked toward the corridor, hearts thumping with excitement. They uncovered that Fluffy was lulled to sleep with music, a detail Hermione unearthed in one of her books. The trio tiptoed to the mysterious room, and with trembling hands, Harry played a soothing melody on a magical flute, causing Fluffy to drift into a slumber. With Fluffy asleep, they opened the trapdoor, peering into the abyss below. One by one, they slid down into the unknown, landing softly on a peculiar, wriggling plant called Devil's Snare. "We need to relax," exclaimed Hermione, reminding her friends that panicking would tighten the plant's grip. They wriggled free and found themselves in a room filled with fluttering keys, each with delicate silver wings. Ron's eyes lit up with the glint of a chess master's confidence. He suggested that this was a test. Harry, with his natural flying skills, grabbed a broomstick, zooming through the air and catching the correct key with ease. Their journey wasn't over yet. They entered a room with a giant wizard's chessboard. Ron stepped forward confidently, taking charge of the life-size chess game. With sweat dripping down his face, he directed the pieces, sacrificing himself at the last moment so Harry and Hermione could move forward. Braving the challenges, they ended up face to face with the mysterious Mirror of Erist. It was their cunning, bravery, and friendship that unlocked the truth and saved the school from danger, learning that sometimes courage and wisdom can outweigh dark secrets. Together, Harry, Ron, and Hermione proved that even the most perilous puzzles could be solved when friends unite, protecting each other through thick and thin. And so, the mystery of the three-headed dog and the trapdoor was solved, as yet another page was added to their magical adventure tales. In the mysterious corridors of Hogwarts, young Harry Potter was on a mission to save the Philosopher's Stone. He had reluctantly left Ron and Hermione behind to confront the dark forces alone. As he entered the final chamber, Harry was filled with a mix of dread and determination. The room was dimly lit, with an eerie air that sent chills up his spine. There, standing before the Mirror of Erist, was the peculiar and jittery Professor Quirrell. But beneath his turban was the true horror, Lord Voldemort, who had been lurking and biding his time. Harry's heart thumped louder than a bass drum. "So, Potter," Quirrell's voice was twisted and sinister, "you've managed to worm your way here, but this will be your end." Harry trembled slightly, but remembered Dumbledore's words about courage, finding strength in his fear. He could feel the warmth from the stone in his pocket, a gift from the mirror which mirrored his pure heart's desire to protect and not to possess. "I'll never let you have it," Harry shouted with conviction, his voice echoing bravely against the cold stone walls. The confrontation was intense. Quirrell lunged, grabbing for Harry, but as Harry's skin touched Quirrell, something magical happened. An ancient magic, born out of love and sacrifice, emanated from Harry. Quirrell screamed, his skin blistering from the contact. Realizing the advantage, Harry held firm, refusing to release his grip. Voldemort shrieked, furious and desperate, but powerless, without a body of his own to manifest. Quirrell crumbled to the ground, weakened and vanquished. A swirling mist of Voldemort's soul fled. Harry swayed on his feet, exhaustion washing over him. The battle had been fierce, but mercifully brief. As he fell to the ground, safe and victorious, a few fluttering pieces of parchment drifted down, a small testament to the colossal confrontation that had undergone. With the stone secured and the dark plot thwarted, Harry knew he was safe, for now. His head lolled to the side as darkness claimed him, only to be greeted by warm daylight in the days that followed, knowing Hogwarts was home and would always be as long as bravery, friendship, and love remained. Harry's bravery had saved the day, and the stone was safe thanks to his courage and the mysterious protection of his mother's love.